So I'm going to speak over the video, and then at some point in time I'll rotate the screen. The best way for me to do this is actually to enter in. So I'm going to park outside for a little while and give you some options of what to do on a Sunday morning. The Rhodes cottage that I'm in now is a historical building, and there's a museum on my left and a coffee shop or a tea room on my right, and I've just had a cup of coffee, and I always bring my journal with me. So it's 2 km from my house, and there's lots to do in terms of eating and sitting and enjoying the space. I don't know much of the menu and the venue, but I do know that both those words are French, and I do know that their coffees and their lunches are cheap. It's a typical kind of tea room vibe. So I'm going in to have coffee or broadcast from the coach house, and all of it is interesting and new for me. There's a mechanism here I've not ever seen before, and I'm not quite sure how it works, but this door it's open now and it does close. So I'm just going to read a little bit, and I'm going to take it. This cart was Cecil Rhodes' personal cart, which he used to drive from his grand house, Grootskea, to Muizenberg. The horses were probably stabled at a commercial library in Muizenberg village. Towards the end of his life, he traded in the cart for a Wolseley cart. There's a photograph in the passage of the cottage showing the model he bought. The Cape cart is a unique South African mode of transport. The 2-wheeled carts pulled by 2 horses were rare and needed a very special way of harnessing the horses to the shaft and the yoke. And then on it goes about cart builders. So it's a bit of history, lots of history. And there is the actual cart horse. And then the things to do: you can book your high tea, birthdays and weddings. You can take a guided tour of the museum. You can visit a gift shop. And then coming soon, a Fynbos cliff walk. How interesting can that be? So that's there's a quick look at the menu for those who want to see that my coffee cost. Rich Ugandan coffee roasted in Jonkershoek. That's what we had today. I think that's what we had today. So yeah, there's quite a bit going on. What's going on with me? I have had a soul searching of a week, an event right in the middle of the week, 2 events stretched between 2 days that made me question what I'm doing and who I am. So this is Benson, and welcome to my Facebook page and my weekly broadcast. It's weekly spelled W-E-A-K-L-Y, because I'm not regular in being weekly. So I just want to just get my journal and then see what I need to be talking about. But let me just say to you, for those that know, I'm involved in organic waste collection, and one of my sites that I do it from has changed slightly, ever so slightly. I don't want to mention names because it's still premature. So what is happening at the moment is that I'm making waves, the kind of waves that result in people taking their commitment to waste seriously. My commitment to waste, organic waste recycling, is centered on my commitment to God. And my commitment to God is centered on a scripture that I only found this morning, Matthew 22, verse 40. Why I only found it this morning is because I knew about it, but now I know where it's from. Some people coming in, so I just have to let them come in. Matthew 22, verse 40 says, it's a very, very, let's say, significant scripture for people, whether you're Christian or not. You would know that somebody asked Jesus at some point in time, there are 10 commandments, which is the greatest commandment? And the response from the Messiah would have been what we have written today, which is love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. I think Jesus was attempting to summarize all the Old Testament commandments into one sentence, which is now settled as a big ask. You've got to love yourself more than you've got to love God more than anything. You've got to love your neighbor more than anything. And I think that it's actually easier to just look at all those commandments individually and try hard, because the summary of it is just way too big. And it's a weight. And I'm going to end with this. It's a weight that's both heavy and light at the same time. It's light in the way it presents itself, but it's heavy as it sits with you and stays with you. I had a very similar light and heavy experience. For those of you who are listening who have got access to Google, can you help me search for a word that describes a heavy and light feeling? Because I had one. I had the same feeling twice this week. The first time was when I came to my compost site in Fish Hoek and found that the system had been completely changed. It went from looking in a way that I knew what I was doing, and had some sort of plan to it, to just dumped, literally just pulled up and dumped on a pile. And then after that experience, I went and had a meeting with the hospital at False Bay, and the hospital at False Bay is they're presenting themselves as a client to me. We are hoping to recycle all their organic waste and take it to the farm. And there, the complete opposite. I got an opportunity to chat details to the kitchen staff, to the managers, and while walking with the matron through the hospital, and every single person wanted her attention, every single person wanted a meeting, I suddenly realized that I have now been elevated to a position of, power, because I was walking with the matron, because I was proposing to do the recycling for the hospital. How that is power, I don't know. On Wednesday, it was Wednesday. I came driving back from a meeting, just some information. Jonathan Peter Jansen, yes, like it is nice to see you online, Nobel and Sean Rutgers. Fernando Diego, don't know the name, but good to see you, bro. So came back driving from a youth meeting, and a youth meeting in a different sense. In October last year, I initiated myself into the Mankind Project, and the Mankind Project has a aspect of it called Head, Heart and Soul. And Head, Heart and Soul seeks to create a space for 18 to 25-year-old men to find themselves and find their role in the community. So the community is Ocean View, and there was about 16 guys sitting around in a circle, And we form a separate circle outside because we are the mentee, they are our mentees, and we are the older guys. So it's about them, and it's also about us. And then there's one exercise that I want to share with you, and I get excited when I say this, when I retell the story. And of course, what I'm trying to find in my head is the word that describes feeling both high and low, both high and low, both heavy and light at the same time. So a friend has just walked in, so I'm going to signal to her that I will join her later, and I'm hoping she won't join me. Okay, she's looking like she's not joining me. Sorry for all of this high-profile chatter. So the exercise, and I must just shout out to Dimitri Vergis from Ocean View. He held that space really well in such a professional way. The exercise happened in a circle. You've got to identify someone that you trust the least, and you've got to identify someone that you trust the most, and you've got to connect with them. And then somebody asks you, the facilitator asks you up front, give us the reasons why you trust that person the least and the most, and they write it down. And then minutes later, they revisit those interactions and they list. And then you've got to face the person that you have trusted the least, and you've got to say to them, this is why I trust you the least. And you go through the list, and you do the same with the one I trust the most, and you go through the list. And in amongst all the talking, a mirror appears where you are actually talking to yourself. This is why I trust you the least. And suddenly you are talking to yourself. I came back from that meeting completely overjoyed. I couldn't even hold onto the steering properly, because these 16 guys, their initiation into Head, Heart and Soul would have been 3 months ago. They still had a burning passion to change their own trajectory. A lot of them are unemployed. A lot of them are still involved they're still carrying guns. They're still runners. They're still involved in the drug trade, but they are seeking a way desperately out of that life. And this is one way out of it. So it's pretty hardcore in my estimation. So shout out to all the men that are involved in the OV journeymen. That's what I would call them, the journeymen. So, aware, Jonathan, you know what we're talking about here, bro. If you want to talk, then you must talk. If you want to come online, you can come online. I don't know how we're going to do it. The signal is sterk, so we can make it work. So driving back, the high was that, and then the low was looking in myself, in my mirror. One of the reasons that I'm involved in the program is I'd find economic opportunity for the guys holding space for the ones that are unemployed when I am not really earning enough money myself. And yeah, I'm trying to help other people. And then I went onto my Facebook profile, and I just see the many times that I'm talking about other people, helping, supporting other people when I need that same support myself. So I'm going to say to you that buying my products, you will support me. And I'm going to change my backer buddy so that it's not slanted towards other people, but it's slanted to the man in the mirror, the man that you're looking at right now. So I think I'm going to go offline now, and I'm going to come back. So I'm going to get to the next part, which is not too much. So you've heard about me recycling and doing it from a scriptural base and using Matthew 22 verse 40 as a way in, as a launch pad. Who are the other people that chose to recycle with me? I'm going to tag them in this post. There's a big footprint of Bible college students in Muizenberg. Well, let's put it this way. There are two organizations who preach the gospel. The one is the YWAM, and the other one is George Whitefield College. So I've tried to, and I'm going to change. Yeah, there we go. And you can see a bit of the thing behind me. George Whitefield College has come on board, and YWAM, we still have to negotiate. and significant conversation, absolutely significant. And this is a message to everybody that's not recycling. You have to recognize, firstly, that your present system is not working. That's the first thing you've got to realize. Look in your bin, and if your bin is mixed with plastic and organic waste, then there's the problem. So I got an SMS. We spoke, and we've had 3 meetings, and I went to look at their system and their kitchen, and they're busy. And I had one look, and when I looked, I saw contamination. And then I said to them, okay, you need to sort that out. And then we had an opportunity for them to come and bring their waste to us. They opted out. And their message to me was, we cannot bring our waste to you because our waste is still contaminated. In some ways, it's actually owning the problem. In some ways, it's very scriptural language to say we can't yet come to you because we are sinful. So I'm going to invite the sinful to come as you are, and we can help. So this next week, they probably will come contaminated and all, and we will help on that side. Enjoy the coffee, my brother. I did. It's very, very good coffee. Eddie, yarra, brother, all the way from the UK. Good to see your name. If you want to have your face published here, then you must just tell me, then I can do so. So I'm going to start ringing off now, guys. I'm going to start signing out. So I've got opportunity to do damage on a big scale. The one is with the Christian community of Muizenberg, and the second one is with provincial government. So if you want to be part of that journey, and if you want to contribute, either you want to be a praying type or you want to be a paying type, then you need to reach out to me or reach out to my Backer Buddy page, which I will adjust so that you can support. I had a beautiful experience, another beautiful experience. And the beautiful experience is going to go somewhere. I was in a space a few days ago where a guy with a camera got very excited about what we were doing. And he took some pictures, and he asked me permission to put it online. I looked at the pictures and chose not to put it online because I suddenly realized I am so freaking overweight. It's just not funny. So I am committing for the month of August to lose at least between 10 and 15 kgs. Done it before, can be done. That's one update. The second update is that I picked up a letter that my son wrote to me, a Father's Day present, a Father's Day note, you know, when you get Father's Days and your son suddenly. And in it he apologized. He apologized for making me angry. And I'm looking at that letter and I'm thinking, hang on, let me bring that shadow self out into the open. I'm gonna take that letter, that card, that communication, and I'm going to put it in my journal. I'm going to keep it there in the light so that I can not have my son apologize to me for making me angry. That's something I want to leave behind. Move on beyond that. So it's health and weight loss, as well as trying to be a better dad to my son, being brought out into the shadow so that you know about it. I want to continue supporting my daughter having a happy birthday in Offenburg, and I want to thank and shout out to my family in Germany, Ian and Bella, who have stepped in as surrogates, parents in our absence, and thank them publicly for looking after our firstborn. Guys, I'm gonna head back home. Thanks for your company, and I'm hoping that the sun shines on your face, and that you feel the warmth that only you can find by being alive in the sun. Have a happy Sunday.